Hey guys, welcome back. As always, I'm your host Jason, and this is It Was All a Dram. If you're not familiar with the show, this is just a channel where I review and rate whiskeys from around the world and give my opinions. Today, I'm going to be reviewing and rating and comparing Glenfiddich 12 and Glenfiddich 15. I chose Glenfiddich because it's somewhat ubiquitous in the world of whiskey. Um, for most people, Glenfiddich is probably their introduction to the world of single malts, myself included. Glenfiddich is the top selling single malt in the world. So it tends to get overlooked sometimes as people move on in their whiskey journey because it's so commonplace. You don't have to know whiskey to know Glenfiddich. You don't have to know single malts to know Glenfiddich. It, I think, kind of gets overlooked sometimes, but it's the top selling one for a reason. First, we'll start with the Glenfiddich 12. So what you have with Glenfiddich 12, oak, American oak ex-bourbon barrels and Spanish sherry, ex-sherry casks. So the reason it's such a good seller is because it's very approachable. It's smooth, it's mild on the nose. You get pears, you get maybe some honey, very mellow, very soft. The color, as you can see, is very delicious looking. Now that is caramel added. It's chill filtered for the masses. But yes, it's a very, very nice nose, very approachable, nothing objectionable at all. You can understand why someone trying whiskey for the first time would try this and not be frightened off, not be scared off at all. All right, let's go to the palate. So on the palate, there's no surprises. You get the orchard fruits, apples, pears, maybe some honey, a little bit of cinnamon. It is very easy sipping. It's smooth. It's, 40%. So that's somewhat expected. But I mean, I've had 40% alcohol that taste horrid. This is quite nice. I think if there's one knock to it, it's probably that it's a little boring as you move on to the world of single malts, get into peated whiskeys and different cask finishes and all that stuff. Maybe. So moving on to the 15. With the 15, there's a little bit of a different process. So first of all, it's still the sherry casks from Spain. It's still the American oak ex-bourbon, but they add virgin oak, American virgin oak, to the mix. And then they take the three of them and they're all married in the Solera vat. So the Solera vat is essentially a giant cask of whiskey that is never more than half empty. Okay, so essentially every year they add more whiskey, they empty out some, they leave at least 50% there. So every year when you get the 15, it has the DNA from all of the 15s going back, decades to I believe it's the 80s, right? So essentially, whiskey from the 80s is in the bottles that they're putting out this year, next year, and the year after. It's called the perpetual process, Solera vatting. Anyway, give it a try, shall we? Okay, on the nose, it's much richer. It's like a ripe apples that I'm getting, and some darker fruits. You can get the sherry cask influence is a lot more pronounced in this. Still approachable, still not hot at all. Very nice, a little bit more complex, a little bit more rich and inviting. Yeah, it's definitely a step up. So $80 about at the LCBO for the 12. It's about 120 for the 15. So the question is it worth the jump? We'll see, right? Let's try the palate. It has a smoother delivery, a more sort of level delivery. There's a little sweeter, sugary raisins, brown sugar. There's definitely still the apples in there, but it's like a candied apple. Definitely a step up in terms of complexity and in terms of just the delivery of the whiskey. I'll give the 12. Let's try it again. We'll go back and we'll give it a rating. Okay, now going back to this, it just doesn't have the same kick. It's a tad boring, and having just had the 15, you come back to this and it just doesn't have anything on the nose. It's still there's nothing objectionable, it's nothing offensive, but nothing screams drink me. It's a nice delivery, think I'll give the Glenfiddich 12 a 79. The side-by-side comparison, I think, is knocking it down a notch. Let's go back to the 15. Yeah, that smells delicious. It's the dark fruit addition. It's the addition of the influence from the sherry cask. I guess because it's been aged longer. You still get the orchard fruit, but you get the deeper fruit, the darker fruits. The barley sugar signature is still there. Much nicer. And the delivery is super smooth. Very nice. Other than the fact that it's, artificially colored and chill filtered and it's only 40%. Very nice. I will give the 15 an 83. Is it worth the jump in the price? I'm going to say yeah. If you're a whiskey drinker, it's definitely worth. This is something I would give someone as a gift. This is something I would give someone if they wanted to try whiskey and they're not familiar at all, right? So I understand why it's the top selling whiskey, but definitely this is a step up. It's deeper, it's richer, it's more complex, and frankly, just tastier. Well, that's the show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm going to take the 15 to say goodbye. Don't forget to smash the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to share the video with your friends and leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think of these whiskeys and let me know if there's any other whiskeys you'd like me to try. Until next time, bottoms up, guys.